Hello everyone, it's Dawn and welcome to my channel. And today we're going to be doing the second project in our series from PAPERCRAFT Society Box 41, and this has been designed by Chloe's Creative Cards. And today we are going to make a floral easel card. So let's get started. You will need a piece of card. Now, just to let you know in advance, this card doesn't come in the kit. This is by Craft, and it is called Rainbow Mirror Card, and it is available from Craft Stash. So I'll add a link to them in the description box down below. But it blends in so beautifully with this colour theme, I just had to use it. So you will need a piece that measures 12 by 6 inches, and I will add all of these measurements. There aren't that many measurements, but I'll put them in the description box below. So you need a piece that measures 12 by 6, and you need to score it at 3 inches and at 6 inches. And that's all the scoring you will need. And you need to just fold that over like that, and you need to fold that one over like that. So when we make our easel card, it will sit like that. If you've never made an easel card before, or you've never seen one, if you're new to crafting or new to this channel, that's what they look like eventually. So we're going to slide that to one side. You will also need, and I've put some foam, no I haven't, I've put some double-sided tape. You will need another piece, and again, I've used this gorgeous mirror card, rainbow mirror card, and this needs to be 6 by 6. And I've added some double-sided tape to this. Now this is because it's mirror card, and with mirror card, glue doesn't always stick terribly well. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this off, and I'll tell you why we're going to take that off in a minute, because we've got a couple of other bits to put on it. So we'll just take that off like that, if we can get it off, and we'll put the bits to one side. Now I'm just going to slide that over there. You'll still be able to see it, because you need a couple of other mats. Now I've already put this together, not realising I hadn't pressed the record button, but it's ever so easy. You need 2 mats. I've used this gorgeous pink watercolour card from the kit, and that measures 5 by 5 inches, as does this top white mat. Now, with this white mat, I've used the embossing folder in a slightly different way. Obviously, you can't get a 5 by 5 into a 5 by or a 6 by 2 embossing folder. That's impossible. But what you can do, or what I did anyway, I slid it over there. You put it there like that, put it on the edge, and then you obviously use your embossing sandwich on your machine, and you run it through. And then what you do, you slide it over so that the edge of the part that you just embossed meets up with the edge of the pattern here. So you marry the two together. Don't overlap them, just abut them. Just put them side by side and line them up and run it through. And then you do that one more time, and again line it up so that this edge meets this edge here of this pattern, and you run it through. And when you've done that 3 times, you will have a piece of beautifully embossed card which looks like it's been done in one go, because if you marry them up and don't overlap them, and because you've got such a busy pattern, even if there are a couple of slight errors, you wouldn't see them. But you should have a beautifully embossed piece. Now what we've got to do, we've got to add this to our cardstock. Now because I'm sitting down and I've got my camera overhead, I can't actually see whether it's going to be in the middle. So I'll do my best to get it straight. So if I just balance it on my fingers. Now this is another tip for you. Just balance it on your fingers and your thumb if you're sitting down and you're not in a position where you can stand up. And if it looks more or less even all the way around, then you can press it down. And I think that looks pretty good, you know. And obviously because this is a flower, so we've got a negative shaped flower. When you cut out the shape without any detail in the middle, that's called a negative shape. And obviously because it's a flower, we need a flower centre. Now in my stash, I found a piece of bling. This is just a piece of nice shiny bling. And on the back, I've got a piece of foam tape. No, I haven't. I've got a piece of foam pad, I beg your pardon, which I've cut down. And I'm just going to pop that in the centre like that. So that's that part done. And there is a right way and a wrong way, and I'll show you what I mean by that in just a second. But I've also used these beautiful, I've got some leaves that I've die cut. I've got 5 pairs of 2 leaves, I've used this gorgeous ombre card that came in the pack. I've used the open dies, or the negative dies, the outline dies, leaf dies, but I've also used a couple of my dies, other dies from my stash, just to give it a bit of variety. But if you want to use all of them from the same kit, you can. But of course, if you're not a member of Papercraft Society, or you haven't got this box yet, you can still use anything you've got in your stash. You don't have to use this, you can use whatever you've got to create a similar effect. And again, I've cut down some foam pads to attach these together. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to sit them in the points, the 5 points where the petals meet. So I'm going to take the backing tape off of the foam pads. And what we're going to do, we're just going to curl the leaves. So if you want to curl your leaves to give it a bit of texture and dimension, use the ends of your fingers and just run it over like that. You can use your bone folder if you want to, but I never bother. I just use my fingers. Fingers were invented before tools. So I'm just going to stick that on like that. And again, because these have been, I prepared some of this over last night, so some of them have gone a bit flat. So I'm just going to bend that over a bit. Again, we're going to take the backing tape off. We're going to do that to all 5 pairs. So there we go. Take that off very quickly. So this goes together. Once you've done all the cutting and the measuring, and the scoring, there's not much scoring to go. It goes together quite quickly. And there you have your 5 pairs of leaves all around the outside. Now, the other thing I've got, I'm going to bring in, I couldn't not use that gorgeous, in the kit, we had this gorgeous luminescent or fluorescent, pearlescent, that's the word I was after, these butterfly sequins. And there are other bits and pieces in there as well as the butterflies. But I think I've picked out about 5 or 6. And what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to use my red runner tape. And I'm going to just run some on the back like that. And I thought I'd stick them between the leaves like that. So I thought I'd just stick them down. Actually, it might be easier to run the tape onto the card. Although this one's getting towards the end, so I might need a new one out soon. But hopefully not yet, because I haven't got one down with me. So we just run a blob of tape. You can use glue if you wanted to, that's absolutely fine. But I've got tape on my desk, so I thought I might as well use it. So we'll just stick some of this. And of course the red tape, the red runner tape, as we said before, is permanent. So it won't live. But it'll just add that extra bit of sparkle. And I have got one more, so I think I'm going to put that in this corner here. So there we go. So we've got a nice bit of sparkle all the way around. So that was just a piece of backing paper. We don't need that. Now all we need we need a couple of bits actually. Well, first of all, we need to add this to this. Now on the back, I have got some double-sided tape, again because we're sticking it to mirror card. And I'm going to take, I've already lined it up. Now, another tip here, if you've never made an easel card before, only put your tape or your adhesive, you can use foam tape if you wanted to, but only put it on the lower half. Don't put it all the way across, otherwise you'll just end up with a flat card like that. But of course, if you wanted a flat card, that's fine. But if you want to make an easel card, just put your adhesive on the bottom, or you could put it on there, this part here if you wanted to, where you folded it. So what we're going to do, I'm going to actually fold mine flat because it'll be easier. So what we do, I'll just make sure you can see, I'll line it up like that. What we do, we line up the bottom edge of our easel, or our mat, with the bottom edge of our easel card, our base card, and we stick it down like that. Then we flip it over, and all we need now is a stopper. Now obviously, because I cut this piece out, we did have a piece of white card left over, which was in the shape of a flower. Now I've taken that, I've cut another one of the medium and the small flower dies, the open flower dies, and I've just coloured, I've used 2 tones of pink from my alcohol pens, and I've just shaded them to make a nice little flower. And again, I've put a piece of bling in the middle to match that one. Now this is going to be our stopper, and I've popped this up onto some foam tape. And all we've got to do now, guys, is decide which way round we want our flower. And I think I'm going to have mine that way round, so it sits against there. and where we want the stopper. So if I put that up there, oh, let's bring it in so you can see it a bit better. I think I'm going to have mine fairly close to the edge because it's a big, oh, just turn it round a bit like that. Because it's quite a big flower, and if we pop it down there, you've still got room there, or even underneath, to write your message. So I'm happy with that. And then stick that there like that, or fold that down like that. And you have a beautiful easel card like that. So from there, I'm glad you can see it from there. But I could, if I hold it, because if I just tip it without holding it, it'll fall. So there we go. We have got a negatively cut flower, or an open flower, and the same shape, but with a three-dimensional flower. And we have a beautiful easel card that all matches. So I hope you've enjoyed that and found it helpful. And indeed you'd make your own easel card. Whether you've got this set or not, use whatever you've got in your stash to make your own floral easel card, or any other theme if you want to. You don't have to have flowers. And I will see you very soon with Project 3 in our series from PAPERCRAFT Society Box 41. And when I type this one up on the title, I shall try and make sure I type the right box number this time. So there we go, and I'll see you soon with the next one. So thank you very much for watching. If you're a subscriber, thank you so much. If you're not, please consider subscribing, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and you'll see the rest of this series along with other projects that we'll be having in the future. So I will see you very soon. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Have a fabulous weekend. Take care, have fun, and as always, happy crafting. Bye bye for now.